watching the Fox 13 4 o'clock news.
Well, you know, artificial intelligence continues to make headlines, from helping doctors detect cancer earlier than ever to keeping drivers safe on the roads. It's even helping the Beatles create new music with the voice of the late John Lennon. But there's also concerns over AI and how it could one day take people's jobs or even pose the risk of human extinction. All right, let's talk about that now. Joining us now, once again, to talk about the upsides and possible downsides of AI is our local tech blogger, Joey Davila. Thank you again, Joey, for being here with us.
Glad to be here.
And let's start off the top with that last little disturbing item I mentioned there. Recently, there were some leading figures in the world of AI that signed an open letter warning that it poses an existential threat to humanity on par with nuclear war and pandemics. Why is that so?
It's definitely possible, and it's just simply because the idea is that AI, the idea behind AI is to make computers as smart as, or if not smarter than, people. And if people can do bad things, these things can do bad things at great speed and great scale.
Such as spreading propaganda, misinformation.
Yes, and I do have to remind the audience that The Terminator is not a documentary. All right.
Okay.
And a lot of the people who sign the letter are sort of eccentric. They're thinking in the very long term, like the year 3000 or 4000. They kind of see our mission is to spread humanity out across the galaxy. We have a lot of problems to solve well before then.
Oh, that's comforting to hear in a way. So this isn't coming, you know, in the next couple weeks or even couple of decades. But we do want to point out that yesterday the Senate held its first ever senators only briefing on AI. Do you feel like lawmakers, do you feel like this is something government needs to put some guardrails around this technology?
Oh, absolutely. Any new technology that has great power for good and bad at the same time should actually be regulated, just as we do it with nuclear power, and thankfully, you know, with pharma, with cars and airplanes, and just about anything like that. AI is the next really big thing to change our lives. Yes, it should be regulated.
Yeah, and it sounds like the leaders in this technology, the CEOs of some of your major AI companies, are totally on board with this too, saying there should be licensing, there should be regulation. Let's talk about the benefits now of AI. As we've mentioned, there have been so many advances. What are some of the cool things that it's doing out there for humanity?
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to keep it down to the small scale, like the everyday thing. So there's a local author friend of mine, Shel Israel, who is using AI. He's a ghostwriter, and he's using it to help him write books. Okay. Basically, he's using it as a kind of assistant editor to help him clear up his thinking, write a little bit better, rephrase things. I do the same thing because my day job actually is writing documentation for the cybersecurity company Okta, and it helps me be more productive that way, writing not just articles, but it even helps me write code.
Wow. And everyone needs an assistant like that.
Yes, and then finally, also at the place where I work, Okta, we use AI to, we're a login company, and we can observe suspicious login behavior and take extra precautions. Say, hey, by the way, take one more step just to prove you say who you are, to keep the bad people out of systems, and the people who should be in the systems, allow them through.
Some of that multi-factor authentication.
Yes, actually, that's what we're using, adaptive multi-factor authentication.
Well, it is an amazing advancement in technology. Joey was telling me, we've got to wrap up quickly, but we are certainly in another technology revolution here. 15 years ago, it was the smartphone. Before that, it was the World Wide Web, the browser.
Yep. And then before that, the PC, which, remember, was invented here in Florida.
Oh, yes. How could we forget?
The IBM PC.
And so we'll see what happens in another 13 or 15 years. But if you want to know more, if you want to learn more about AI or any other tech, Joey's blog is Global Nerdy.
That's right.
It's a tech blog about things in the Tampa Bay area. Global Nerdy, easy to remember. Right, Linda?
Yes, it is. I got some questions for you too, Joey.
All right.
Still ahead, car issues, and maybe a bit before you